All right, good morning. Hope everybody's doing great. We're still in the throes of Mardi Gras in New Orleans. People started parading, well, like 3 weeks ago, but in the beginning of Mardi Gras, it just happens on the weekends. And then we get to leading up to Fat Tuesday, which will be this Tuesday. Parades start on Wednesday and they go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday morning. There are like 3 big parades, and then we call it a wrap. And in New Orleans, Lent then begins. So lots of celebrating. Luckily, the weather's warm. It's beautiful out, and good music, food, and amazing costumes all around us. Okay, so this is module 2, week 6, and by the end of this week, you really are going to be a gratitude expert. And so what we're going to do this week is really dig more into the brain chemistry, the neurochemical changes that are happening, the new neural pathways that are happening through gratitude practicing. So we're talking about how cortisol, which is the stress hormone that actually your brain sends messages to your gut produces it, and it creates a lot of anytime you're feeling stress, anytime your body goes into fight or flight, your body is pumping out cortisol. And then dopamine and serotonin, these are the chemicals that make us feel good. Dopamine's the reason why we do anything for a second time. My son was up this morning and he jumped in our pool, and even though it's warm here, it is not swimming weather, but he wanted to take that cold plunge to get the day going. So any reason why you would put yourself through that misery is because something feels good out of it, and that's that dopamine splash. And then serotonin gives us that feeling of well-being. So when you have a mix of that serotonin and dopamine producing together, you feel elated, but you also feel peaceful. And these are sometimes our greatest moments. Later in the semester, we're going to study awe, and that's that, just like that, when something hits you is meaningful or beautiful or just this moment in time. And we're going to talk about how awe is an expression of gratitude, but we're going to learn more about it. Okay, so here's something interesting. This week, we're going to all take a imaginary field trip to the World Happiness Summit. It's actually a real summit. When I first built this class, I came across it on the internet and created this activity where we go on it, and you're going to be a speaker at it. And when I did it, I started thinking like, well, if there's a World Happiness Summit, I think I should probably go to it. And so I wrote a grant and managed to go, and wrote another grant and managed to go again, and really had so much fun at these conferences. They're held in Miami at the University of Miami, a beautiful campus with amazing speakers. Last time I was there, Martin Seligman spoke. Laura Santos, who you've come across in videos in our course, she developed the happiness class at Yale. She's been a speaker. Daniel Gilbert, any major positive psychology researcher in the field has spoken there. So it was a lot of fun, but you're going to get the chance to go there too, and you're going to be a pretend speaker. And when you are, what I am looking for in your assignments is that you are really explaining to me that you understand how the brain changes when we engage gratitude practices. So this is where you really need to have your neuroscience hat on. Okay, 2 quick things before we wrap up. 1, y'all should be wrapping up your Zooms today with each other. If you've got to turn in a week's worth of gratitude practicing, so you might have needed to start that before you meet with your group, which is fine. That just means that you're going to tell your group what you're doing and how you're charting it. You'll share that information with one another. And then the second thing is, as we're thinking about the Catalyst Expedition project, last week you looked out into the world, found 3 groups that you realize are really struggling. This week you're going to narrow down and think about which group would you really like to focus on for this project, and then you're going to identify somebody that you can interview that knows something about the stress that this group faces. It can be pretty removed, and if you're stuck on finding somebody, let me know and I'll help you. But the idea is that you're going to create some interview questions, and this is going to be our first leg of research for this project. The project being, you're going to determine a group that faces challenges. You're going to determine a positive psychology concept that might help that group, and then you're going to build out something that would deliver it to them. You're not really going to do it. It's going to be a prototype, but it's going to be a way to give back to the world, given all this goodness that we're learning. Okay, so my question for you is, at this point in the winter, what are you today, for this day, just this day, grateful for? Just the tiniest little thing, right? Tiniest little thing. For me, my sister-in-law and niece came in last night for Mardi Gras, and this morning my sister-in-law and I sat on our back deck and sat and had the most delicious cup of coffee and just caught up on life. Very grateful for it. All right, look forward to hearing from you.